Sistrel here, finally back with round 2 of our Modern League. Looks like we are on the play. And I think this hand's pretty decent, so I'm going to keep it. Turn 1, Cage, Bauble seems nice. We'll see if Cage ends up being good in this matchup. Or if we'll wish it were a relic instead, so we could at least draw a card. So I think I'm just going to run out the Watery Grave. And then I think I'm going to, on their upkeep, plan to crack the Bauble. See what they draw. Inquisition. Okay. So we will probably lose a Whir here, I'm guessing. Or possibly one of the bridges. If they have another Inquisition, take the second bridge. Looks like I'm guessing Death's Shadow again. Which will be good. Practicing this matchup is always good. Feel like I could have played the last one a bit better, so... So Cage here is okay. Stops the Snapcaster Mages. So not great, but not terrible. This is a case where we probably would have slightly preferred a Relic. Okay. Preferred something with a bit more action, but we'll just pass. Hope we don't get the second bridge taken. Although we probably will, because that's what they tend to do. Okay, we didn't, so that's good. So I think here, I think it's best if I just run out the bridge. Gives me another artifact to whir for, and we can only whir for a relic or something now. Stubborn Denial, I think that's okay. Could have, I guess, maybe played around it, but I think it's worth it to try to run it out. Or maybe we should have played around Stubborn Denial since they're not doing anything. Although I guess, yeah, Stubborn Denial just gets better and better for them. So even if we had waited, we would have got Stubborn Denialed anyway. Because I'm guessing they're going to play something that would have activated Ferocious. Tassiger? Or Gurmag, okay. Okay, Bauble's actually pretty good here. Because this is going to let us whir for a bridge if we want to, which I think we will. I think if they crack the Bloodstained Mire here, I'm just going to whir in response. So I don't get Stubborn Denialed again. I didn't, so that's okay. So I think I'm going to try... to whir here for the bridge. Kind of have a feeling I'm going to get Stubborn Denialed, but gotta try. Yeah. Prism, not particularly great. So here we will crack the bauble on their turn. Although no, I think I'm going to wait and crack it at their end step and target us, since we have the delta to act as kind of a scry. Okay, let's see what we're going to draw. Collective Brutality. I don't think that's going to be good enough for us right now. Kind of want to hope to hit. Okay, well, we drew one anyway. What are our options here? We're at 6. I feel like our best bet here is probably make them discard a card and drain for 2. Don't know if drain for 2 is going to do too much, but it'll make us survive a end step Snapcaster Mage or like a Kolaghan's Command to finish us off. We certainly don't really need this Darkslick Shores. Okay, so we've just got Fatal Pushes, which are do-nothing cards. And hopefully we draw. I think our only real good option is a whir or a bridge to try to get a bridge down. Even Tezzerator's not really going to do it because of the Fatal Push. Can't, even if I were to make the cage or something a 5/5. Let's just see what we've got. I think our only hope here is this resolves and we can draw into a bridge, because we don't have enough to whir. Well, we'll dead before we could draw a whir anyway. So let's see if we hit a bridge. No. So these won't do anything for us. Okay. Yeah, they don't do anything for us, unfortunately. Okay, so sideboarding. Don't think I want this cage. I'd actually rather it be a relic. I do want these chalices. So I want these chalices. I want the abrupt decays. I think I'm going to try bringing this herald. I think I don't bring in the herald enough. So what am I taking out? I'm trying to remember what some people have suggested in here. I think people have said brutality not particularly good. And even though I do have chalice and I'm planning on putting on 1 to leave in the serum visions, or at least not cut all of them, because they do kind of help us get out of the situations where they've made us discard a bunch of stuff. So what else do I not want? Pithing Needle. I guess if they bring in Is It Staticaster? Padim we might want. How many relics do I want? I want at least 1 I think I'm actually going to cut these prisms. Again, another suggestion that I think people have had is prisms, very bad top deck. Same with Time Sieve. Do I want... basically trying to limit the bad top decks that we could draw, since we do tend to get into a top deck war here. On that note, Bottled Cloister. So I think I don't want 3 relic. I think I'm going to try this. I'm not sure if Bottled Cloister is good enough. Might well be too slow, but I do like drawing extra cards. But I could see some merit for maybe taking out the Cloister and bringing in Damnation. But I think I'm going to give this a try. I would like to play first. And this... okay, so... this actually is not too bad. We've got a turn 1 Thopter Foundry with a welding jar. Yeah, I think I'll keep this. With a welding jar and a bauble. So we even get to crack the bauble on their turn and still have Opal turned on. I found very few times have I actually been able to play a turn 1 Opal and have it active. Unfortunately, it doesn't come up nearly as much as I would like. Welding jar should be pretty solid here. Okay, it's not a bad start. I think we will upkeep Bauble them. Inquisition. Okay, so we will lose our whir. Come on, Sword of the Meek. Maelstrom Pulse. Okay. Land was good. Okay, by Pulse. I think that's okay. Here I wouldn't mind a land for this Tezzerator, especially with them tapping out. Resolving a Tezzerator would be pretty great. If I am able to resolve the Tezzerator, I think I'd probably just +1 him. I don't really want to turn Welding Jar or Thopter Foundry into artifacts, or into artifact creatures. So here... guess I should play it safe. Get Watery Grave. 2 green sources already. Like, okay, yeah. So that's solid. So now, do I want to? I guess the downside to taking a card. Yeah, I think I still want to +1 him. Downside to this is I can't play it unless it's a 0. Yeah, I think Sword of the Meek seems good here. So even if I was saying that the downside is I can't play it unless it's a 0 cost. So they do have a chance to make us discard it. But in this situation, we don't really mind discarding the sword. So it only really hurts us if they have a surgical as well, which would suck. But otherwise, we can trade in the opal or some other artifact that we draw to get the sword back into play. Okay, that's a little more rough, but again, discarding the sword, not really a big deal. We do still have Tezzerator in play, so if we draw a Thopter Foundry, we can get that going again. Whir is basically a Thopter Foundry. Let's see what we find here. And we just found a Thopter Foundry. So I think I'm just going to take this Thopter Foundry so I can run it out. And hold on to the Whir for maybe a bridge or a relic or something next turn. I think I want to save the welding jar for something more important than the Thopter Foundry. That's why I didn't really worry about using the jar to keep the Thopter Foundry in play last turn. Here I think I might use it. Yeah, I think here I'm going to use it this time, since now I'm down. I would be down 2 Thopter Foundries and I'm losing the Whir, and they're tapping out. So I think here it actually is worth keeping around. I'll probably just sack this Opal. To start getting some Thopters going. I mean, I do like having the Opal around, but I think I'd rather make a couple Thopters. Or do I? If I wait till next turn, I can potentially play around a surgical extraction. Although if he had that, he probably would have already used it. Yeah, so I should have also tapped this Opal in response. Be able to make an extra Thopter. Yeah, I should have tapped the Opal for mana in response to the call against command and made the Thopter right away. Okay, so this is really good, getting this going with the Tezzerator, because Tezzerator becomes lethal very quickly. So if we just make 3 tokens, we can attack for 2, he goes to 12, we make 3 tokens, we'd have 6. Tezzerator does exactly lethal. So we can just win here. Yeah, getting Tezzerator and Thopter Foundry online. Lethal very quickly. Make sure I counted right. Let's go 4 Thopters, 5, 6. Just double, so that's exactly dead. Okay, so we did it. So we're going to keep the same plan here. Thought about taking out the Cloister and bringing in Damnation, but both are kind of slow. So I think we're just going to try to see if our Chalices, Bridges, Thopter Swords can overload his call against commands and get there. And maybe we'll get to cast Herald of Anguish and see if he's any good. Okay. So this hand, I think it's decent. Again, we get our Opal online turn 1 and a Relic in play, which I think is pretty solid. The question is, do I crack the Bauble on turn 1? As that would turn off the Opal, so I kind of think I don't want to crack the bauble yet. I want to keep it. So let's see. Well, making all these plans, but very likely getting something discarded. But there's a good chance that something is either the relic or the abrupt decay. Okay, or nothing. I like that even better. I'm not going to run that out yet. Let's get this out. Let's get this out. Just so we play around stubborn denial. Oh no, I guess stubborn denial hurts us anyway because we can't pay for it until the relic's in play. And might as well start emptying his graveyard right away. Gotta keep him off those delve cards. And go hold on to the bauble for a while. Until I kind of feel like I need to draw another card. Abrupt Decay should buy me some good amount of time. Likewise, the Relic, keeping him off his delve threats, should buy me some time. Welding jar seems pretty solid. And having this abrupt decay also seems very good. So I'm just going to run out the island because I don't really want to play the breeding pool untapped at the moment, and this lets me be able to abrupt decay with mana open for relic if I need to crack it. Shadow's getting pretty big. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill it right now. Fortunately, lose the other abrupt decay. So here I might want to consider, depending on what he does, consider cracking this bauble on the end step. To potentially draw some action. Wonder if I should have cracked the relic to keep him off of a Tezzerator. Well, let's see. So I think given that he's putting me under a little pressure, I'm going to have 4 mana available. I think I do want to do this. Let's see if I can draw some action. Pulse is not bad. So I think I will pay the 2 life. So again, I can keep relic open. And I think I just pulse right here. No reason to give him value. And if I don't pulse, I'm just going to get it inquisitioned. I should have eaten it with the relic. I think it's going to matter, but as soon as he does something, I'll eat it with the relic. And again, do I want to bauble? Do I want to bauble here? I think for the same reason, I think I probably do, but if he doesn't do anything, I might just hold off on the bauble. If he's going to give me time to draw stuff naturally, it might make sense to hold off. limit the amount of damage an Inquisition can do if I draw 2, like 3 drops or something. So I've unfortunately used up all of my removal spells that I sideboarded in, because I believe I only brought in the 1 Maelstrom Pulse. But he seems to be out of immediate threats, so that's good. Especially because without him having a threat in play, his stubborn denials are significantly worse. So even with Whir, since we have 4 mana right now, even if we draw a Whir, we can Whir through a stubborn denial for up to 3 right now. Assuming we don't crack the bauble, which I think we will leave in play. What else would be good? Chalice of the Void, that seems pretty solid. So you're going to K-command something, make me discard. That'd be a little sad, but... yeah, it's a little sad, but I think I'll just crack the relic in response. Maybe I'll get lucky, draw another chalice. Actually, yeah, then this works good because I can discard steam vents. So what was I thinking? Yeah, this works out really well because now I can discard steam vents and play chalice for 1. Seems very good. With a welding jar to protect it. Okay, so this is looking pretty solid here, I think, for us. A chalice on 1 is a big threat for him to have to answer. And with the welding jar in play, it's going to be a bit harder for him to answer it. And we know he has an Inquisition stranded in hand. His stubborn denials are dead. Another Kolaghan's Command, maybe? No, okay. So here I'm getting to the point where I think I might want to crack this bauble. Kind of want to be into... well, I guess I don't need to play around Stubborn Denial anymore. I think I'm just going to crack the bauble now. Now that I've got the chalice in play, I would like to get some more threats on the board. Serum Vision's a little disappointing here, but can you do it? Might as well hold on to it for now. I might have to just run it into the chalice if I get a bridge, but for now it will help protect against the Kolaghan's commands. Any draw step Kolaghan's commands. Similarly with the opal, I think I will keep it in hand. I can always play it if I get a bridge. I would really love a Thopter or a Sword of the Meek right now. Tezzerator would be great. Bridge would probably be fine. Pretty much any action type card would be pretty good right now. Guessing okay, just playing the Street Wraith. I respect that. I think I could keep the Delta uncracked, so if I draw a Bauble, okay, that's good. Inventor's Fair is quite good. So what are we going to want to Inventor's Fair for? I think we will want to Inventor's Fair. Do we want to just Inventor's Fair for Bridge? Or Sword of the Meek? I think those are the two options. Bridge shuts down his Street Wraith very quickly. Sword, I think actually I want the Sword of the Meek, because we've got enough mana that it's going to very quickly outpace the Street Wraith anyway, and then it actually helps us win the game. So I'm just going to do that now. Sword of the Meek. I think I'm going to crack this too, because I'm going to start wanting to make swords or make Thopters, so I'm going to want all my mana available. Ooh, Padim. Padim is interesting. But if I Padim, be able to start drawing more cards. I could Padim and Sword. I can't make any swords, any Thopters, but that's probably fine. Or do I want to just play the sword? You know what? I think I could play the Padim and then play the opal, so I'll still be able to make one Thopter. And this just further protects our chalice and everything. Make sure we keep the right one. Yeah, so we're sitting in decent shape. Padim, because I'm guessing he took out his Terminates. Probably his Fatal Pushes as well. He might have kept some Fatal Pushes in, but without a fetch land, he can't kill the Padim. If he kills the Padim, it's not really a big deal. But it's another hurdle between Padim and Welding Jar. Our artifacts are quite well protected. I do love drawing 2 cards a turn. Relic is good, except for the Chalice. So we will just hold on to it. Not going to attack with the Padim. Don't really need to. Don't want to run into like a Snapcaster Mage, call against command to kill it unnecessarily. We're easily making lethal amount of Thopters this turn anyway. What's he got? I think anything could cast. Yeah, so he's just dead. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So make some Thopters. We can even make all the Thopters in the world because we don't need to play around surgical extraction or extirpate because of the chalice. So let's go for overkill because we can. Gotta show Death Shadow who's boss. There we go. Okay, so that went a lot better than the last Grixis Shadow match. I think I sideboarded a little bit better. Chalice really showed its power level. And yeah, so hopefully it won't be so long until I can do a third round, and we'll see you then.